Today on The Pulse, it's our 50th episode and we are doing something a little bit different for you. So don't go away, The Pulse is next. Calling all entrepreneurs. It's Economic Development Week in Prince George's County. The only show in town dedicated to helping Prince George's County businesses. Hello, I'm Denise Roberts, and welcome to the 50th episode of The Pulse. The first time my executive producer and I first sat down to talk about what this show would actually look like, we agreed that whatever we do, we would bring you real, tangible information that helps you, the business owner, to be more successful in Prince George's County. The Pulse has brought together influential names in business, finance, and politics for discussions on the key issues dominating our world today, specifically affecting small business. We've had successful business owners, SBA, government contracting, supplier diversity, certification, economic development, public relations, and social media experts. You name it, we've had it, and we're going to keep doing it. And so today, we're talking with a group of people who can share even more insight on what it takes to be successful in this great county. Our guests today are Roland Jones, Director of Prince George's County's Office of Central Services, David Harrington, President and CEO of the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce, Mike Franklin, owner and operator, Franklin's Restaurant, Brewery, and General Store, Wei Ye, General Manager at Advanced Technology and Research Corporation, Latasha Ward, owner of Go Promote You, Tisa J.D. Clark, President of J.D. Clark Professional Services, and Ardania Williams, Vice President of Marketing and Development at Lindana Construction. All businesses and organizations rooted firmly right here in Prince George's County. Thank you all for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you.
So to my business owners, I want to say congratulations, because we brought you here because we only want advice from the most successful ones. Okay, so congratulations on your success, and I really want to get right to it. Most of you all are in very different industries and even different customer bases. So, but you still have different management needs. What is the one thing that all business owners or all business operations need? Mike?
People. It's all about getting the right people and treating them right and keeping them satisfied.
Okay. How about you, Tisa?
Capital. You need to be able to fund the operations and fund the work that you have before you.
Ms. Ardania?
Absolutely. Just making payroll is very important.
Okay. So I want to go back to you, Mike.
Sure.
Did you start your business organically? From your own personal experience, did you start it organically, or did you have a process of planning and organizing?
Organically and impulsively. Just a building in our neighborhood, which was the old Hyattsville hardware store, came up for sale. And I said, I've got to buy that building, without knowing what I was going to do with it. And it all kind of happened from there.
Okay. What about you, Latasha?
Okay, but first, no one in my immediate household was entrepreneurs. They all worked for the government. I tried that out. I worked with the at-risk population, and then I got involved with a network marketing company, so it's different from any traditional business, and I was successful in that. And I made it to director. Then I figured if I could do it for somebody else's company, why not start my own?
Okay.
And I started my own company and learned the difference between a network marketing company and having a traditional business. But, I started it because I wanted something that was mine, so that I could control my pay, my hours, so nobody could take it away from me. If I had the customers, my business would be able to survive.
Okay.
Yep.
Ms. Ardania, what was the deciding factor? Because you're a family-owned business.
Correct.
What was the deciding factor for you all to start this business? And when you did, what was some of your first steps?
So thank you very much for having us, and congratulations on your 50th episode.
Thank you.
Lindana started as family-owned. We stepped out on faith. My husband was a skilled brick mason, and our son went to college. And when he came home, they decided to start their own business. We started in residential. They were comfortable. And then there were many opportunities here in Prince George's County that we learned of for small businesses to expand their business. And so we took advantage of those things.
Tisa, what about you? What made you even want to be a business owner?
Well, for me, it was a life-changing event when my youngest son was born. He has special needs. And so for me, it was a balance around building a legacy not only for my own children, but impacting the community in which I lived. And so 10 years ago, I walked away from corporate, stepping out on faith, and haven't looked back, and it's been a tremendous, tremendous ride for the last 10 years.
Okay, and Tisa, I want to stay with you. What kind of research do you need before starting a company, and how do you even begin to go about doing
So I
that?
think having advisors, I think having connections with your local chamber, to connect you with the right people, the right organizations, so that you have information. I think information is key. So therefore you know how to structurally set up your organization, the do's and don'ts, if you will, as far as getting off the ground. And sometimes when you're an executive in corporate, which is what I was, you don't know all the ins and outs of running your own business and getting it started. And so having those resources, which are very strong in our county, helped me tremendously.
Okay. Mike, did you do any research before you started, or did you find that there was some research needed? Because I'm sorry, I know you were winging it at first.
Well, I'd had experience in retail as a manufacturer's rep, but I knew what I thought I knew what our neighborhood needed. It was, I think, any small entrepreneur, the key is correctly identifying a demand, a need,
Okay.
and filling that need.
Okay.
You fill that need and you're going to have a good business.
So is it safe to say it's a need that needs to be, for a business owner needs to provide a need rather than just do what they love, even if what they love to do isn't what the need is?
Absolutely. I mean, it's great to do what you love, but other people have to come along with you. And I've adjusted my business many times because I loved a dish or I loved something that I was doing. If our customers didn't like it, then you move on.
Okay. Okay. Latasha, what about you?
I would say, far as for my business, everybody need to advertise.
Okay.
So I deal with promotional products. Everybody want to have something with their name on it. If you don't, then nobody know about you.
Okay.
So everybody had to advertise. So, you know, when I thought about go promote you, a lot of times people, when they starting up, they need a logo. They need marketing material so that they can pitch their business.
Okay.
So I feel like I can be in business because somebody's always starting something.
Okay. So, David, what kind of support does the Chamber provide for small businesses, and what point do I, as the business owner, connect with you?
So, first of all, congratulations on your 50th episode. You're doing it right here. I mean, business coming together and talking and learning from each other, that's what the Chamber does. So we do three things. Number one, we help people obtain a network, because you cannot do business unless you have relationships. And especially in this economy, in this diverse economy, relationships matter. Number two, we do forecasting. So what are things that are on the horizon for business that will help business prepare and adapt for what's coming up, and especially in Prince George's County. Prince George's County is the epicenter of growth throughout the region. There's no question about that. And the third thing we do is advocacy. We want to make sure that we have a great business climate so businesses can really grow. And so we do this. So why you join the Chamber? You join the Chamber because you want to pay attention to the payroll. You want to pay attention to the business structure. We pay attention to making relationships for you.
Okay. Roland, what does the Office of Central Services do, and why is it important for small businesses in this county to connect with your agency?
We help facilitate you being knowledgeable about what's going on. Our office is responsible for making sure by law that a forecast comes out on July the 1st of every year that tells what's being promoted or what's being thought of being bought by the various agencies for that year. So it gives people a perspective that if you're in business and you're looking at the county government as being one of your customers, then you can see that this is going to make sense or not, that we can allocate certain resources after pursuing these particular opportunities that are going to be available from these various agencies. It gives you a perspective of what opportunities are out there. We also educate you about how to go about doing business with the government, and not only with the government, but with various advocacy agencies within the county. We tell you about economic development, what's happening in the region, what's going to happen in the country. How do you go about using things that to your avail? How do you go about getting certified? That can become a tool that can be invaluable to you. What relationships you can have with various other agencies, federal agencies, state agencies, and how you can be successful. One of the greatest things that we do, and you're in charge of it within the Office of Central Services, is outreach. We educate people about what's available to them. You do a fantastic job of making sure that they have education and training. So for people who are at various stages of business, whether you're simply thinking about a concept of starting a business and being an entrepreneur, or if you're a successful business, what's out there to my avail and what resources can I use that the government is providing to make me even more successful?
Okay, okay. And I just want to stay here because the county is doing a lot these days. What has the county done to level the playing field for businesses who want to work and want to have access to opportunities?
I must say that during the 7 and some odd months of the 7 years and some odd months of the Baker administration, that the executive body and the legislative body have worked congruently together to create opportunities, to pass legislation, to create a business environment. As David said, that this is the epicenter of economic development in this region. And I would dare say the state of Maryland also. So the combination of those two bodies working together have created an environment where businesses can be successful. If you come to Prince George's County and you're dedicated to Prince George's County is dedicated to you to ensure that you have ample opportunity to be successful. The passing of the laws, the creating of relationships with various organizations, business organizations that were never here before. We have MGM, a Fortune 50 company that is now ever present in Prince George's County that we never had before. There are other opportunities that are being presented. There are opportunities where we are not only talking about just government contracting, but where you can develop business relationships with corporate America. That's something that never existed before in Prince George's County.
Wei, I'm sorry, just give me 1 second. Wei, you manage a small but very successful government contracting firm, right? What's the secret to winning government contracts?
Well, there's probably many aspects of winning a government contract. Number one, you have to be good at what you do. And two, you have to understand what the customer is looking for you to do or what they need. You have to be anticipating what their needs are. And we as an engineering company, we've been working with mostly federal government military for about 45 years. To win the contract is, especially in today's environment, is highly competitive. You really have to be very good at what you do. You have to have a workforce that is agile as well as excellent at what they do, and you have to be competitive in pricing because again, they want you to do more with less. But those are the things that usually will put you at least, if not winning in front and center, as a finalist for winning government contract.
David, how does the chamber work with the county?
So we're both partners and also innovators. So the way we partner with Roland and getting the information out to businesses, to our 600 members. But we also are innovators in a way of how we can even do better. So one of the things I was going to comment on is I think we do excellent at the contract space, right? So we have some of the people who get contracts, both local procurement, but now we want to get into the equity space where in fact then you have generational wealth being passed. And so many of these businesses, and that's why I talked about innovation, for these businesses, the next phase is how do I create wealth that I can pass along? And that comes with being an equity partner in many of the things that are happening in Prince George's County. And so we're out in front of making that happen.
Okay. Sounds good. We're going to take a break really quick. Don't go away because we'll be back with more from our guests after this break.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I had something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Welcome back to The Pulse. If you're just tuning in, we're talking about resources, best practices, and what it takes to be successful in Prince George's County. You know what, Tisa, what has been your biggest challenge as a business owner here in the county?
The biggest challenge, I think, would be capital. For every small business, the hardest thing is being able to manage cash flow. So therefore, you can make payroll and that you're able to fund a job while you're waiting to be paid.
Okay, Latasha, how about you?
I would say having customers willing to pay you for what you're worth. By being a black business owner, and let's say if you have black customers, sometimes they don't want to pay you the same thing that they may pay somebody else because you're black. They want to hook up. So just having customers that want to pay you, you know, for the services that you deliver. So if you deliver good services, customers need to pay you.
Okay.
So
that's right. Miss Ardania, how do you assemble the right team for your business? Or in your case, is it just your family?
Well, no, not at all.
Okay.
We're a specialty company.
Okay.
We specialize in masonry. So we're your brick, mortar, sand company. We are construction of buildings. Our teams are built based on skilled brick masons. Okay. It's very important to be able to, even though it may sound easy to put a little sand and mortar and lay a brick, but it still takes skill and art. So our laborers, we are a little flexible when it comes to hiring laborers.
Okay. Mike, how about you? I mean, because you're in a very customer service industry.
Yeah, it's again about people, and it's about consistency. If you've got a business our size in the business that we're in, which is hospitality, you're going to have some turnover. But it's all about treating your employees with respect and maintaining good relationships so they stay as long as we could possibly get them to stay, and on a daily basis making sure that we put out a consistent product.
Okay. How about you, Wei?
Well, the challenge, I think, people definitely is one of them. You know, we are essentially provide our knowledge as a service to our customer, and using our knowledge that we can solve problems and do research and provide essential services to our customers. So having a pool of good qualified candidates, and especially in our environment, a lot of our employees require security clearance working for the military. And that's a huge challenge nowadays. People with a clearance, they usually looking for something, or they have more options and all that. But yeah, I would think people with the right skill sets, with good backgrounds, and that's important.
What about company culture?
For us, the culture is very sort of similar, sort of extension of the government. I say it this way is because we start out was working with Naval Surface Warfare Center, but back in 40-some years ago, when we first started, we have a small office off Adelphi Road, across the street from today's National Archive. And people work there, either retired formal naval engineer, civilian engineers. So the culture has always been that way, very collegial. 80% of our employees either college or with advanced degree. 70% are employees with a security clearance. So the culture is sort of an extension of a government research lab, so to speak. Yeah.
Okay. And I stay on team building, employees, because there's a new generation of employees out here today, and everybody can actually answer this question. How do you engage them, the millennials, to be productive in the workforce while utilizing their talents? Roland, we're in the government, so sheesh.
People are people. You can talk about millennials, you can talk about Generation X, Y, Z, whatever. People are still people. And you motivate people by giving them the understanding that productivity will result in benefit to you. If you're productive, then there will be some type of benefit for you to come, whether it's remuneration, whether it's benefits, whether it's promotion, whether it's access to information, whether it's the ability to build your resume, to be able to take to some other location. It's our responsibility to figure out what benefits do we have that we can entice people to work for us or entice people to be in the environment that we currently have. You can't change your entire environment because you're going to have a workforce of a mixture of people. We manage 272 people in various, our agency is very unique because we have white-collar workers as well as blue-collar workers. We have union workers as well as non-union workers. We have professionals. We have everything from lawyers to mechanics to, we're in charge of custodial individuals. So it's a wide spectrum of people, but people are promoted by being noticed for various things. You have to congratulate people for doing a job well, but you also have to keep people interested in letting them know there's going to be some benefit for them to be gained for them coming to work. It's not charity. You come to work because you gain some type of benefit, whether it's remuneration or whether it's other types of benefits. You've got to figure out what entices individuals to come and do what they do. Normally it's money.
That speaks to me. Mike, how do you motivate your employees in a customer service industry?
Well, Roland said a lot of it, but for us it's teaching people new skills and allowing them to advance from, if you're a busboy, you can become a waiter. If you're a waiter, you could become a bar manager or a bartender. You can become a manager. All of our managers we promoted from within and started them at other positions.
Oh, wow,
and
that's
people,
awesome.
when they come in at first, they see that. It's kind of a big family business, and we promote from within, and we're always willing to train people to new skills if they want to learn it.
Okay. Let's talk about branding and marketing. What steps, Latasha, you're branding, marketing, promoting. What steps did you take to brand yourself, and how did you come up with the way for people to recognize who you are and set you apart?
Okay, well, some of you all may all know I ran for office, and just with my name, having more moving forward, it's a lot in the name. And a lot of times when people have slogans or quotes, you gotta have things that are catchy, things that will help people remember you. So even if a person don't remember my face when I said the name Ward, oh, you Ward moving forward. So it's something that will allow them to remember you either by your name or by your symbol. So I believe that's a lot in the name.
Yes,
even naming your children, naming your business.
Tisa J.D. Clark. Yes. How did you brand yourself? How did you come up with your brand?
So my brand was an extension of my name.
Okay.
So my name is Tisa J.D. Clark, and so I knew going into the construction industry, I had to have a name that was typical of what you hear in a male-dominant industry. So I dropped my first name and just used my initials, J.D. Clark. So in turn, in the early days, people associated J.D. with some old person who had been in construction for 100 years, and I would show up at pre-bid construction sites, and they would say, "Oh, is J.D. coming?" And I would say, "J.D.'s here. JD's here." And so it was pretty interesting. And now, of course, the name people know that J.D. Clark is a female, and she's here to do business, and she will make it happen.
Way. A lot of small business owners struggle with how to increase their customer base. Do you have that problem?
Yeah, well, we know, absolutely. And the federal government is trying to downsize, and we're trying to upsize. But yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And so what are some of the ways that you increase your base?
Well, what we do is, because we were, for many, many years, we heavily rely on federal government, especially military. And but we do have a division that working for non-military, which is U.S. Postal Service on robotics and automation. But even with that, Postal, as most of you know, is controlled, the purse string is controlled by the Congress, so to speak. Okay. So we develop commercial product that is found, extension of that is we develop additional product, automated product, that we have broadened the customer base. One of the reasons we moved to Beltsville, our current facility, is just so we have more space to work with. And we're having some success in terms of getting into a non-government area. But it's very challenging. Okay. You constantly have to reinvent yourself and apply what you do best and have a good product out there for people to come back and to you again and again.
Okay. What about you, Ms. Ardania? Do you struggle with customers? You know, you and Tisa are certified with the county. You have a contract with the county?
I have a couple.
You have a contract with the county. Government contracting is a pretty tough arena to crack, or a tough nut to crack, I should say. What's the secret to, what has been your secret to getting the foot in the door into Prince George's County business?
So for Lindana Construction, we learned that it's very important to identify your client, the customer that you want to serve. Okay. And we found that working with Prince George's County, we identify ourselves, we build a relationship. And building a relationship, they'll call you back. And getting out networking is so very important. Networking, and getting your name out. Okay. So Lindana was very successful in building the Tanger outlet, and we were very pleased and proud that we were able to hire 36 Prince George's residents, absolutely. And that speaks volume by itself.
Absolutely.
In construction, in building a major 8-building outlet. Okay. So that was great success for us.
Okay, here's a question for all of you. We got about a minute left, so I need you to be quick and short and sweet. I want to know, or tell our viewers, because our viewers want to know, what's your best advice for someone who is even thinking about jumping out there, starting their business, and being their own boss? Tisa.
I would say find where your passion lies and the problem that you can solve.
Okay. Ms. Ardania.
I would say stay the course. Stay the course. If it's your gut feeling and you have a true passion for what you're doing, stay the course.
Okay. Wait.
Know your service, do your research, and be flexible.
Okay. Latasha.
Don't let money stop you from starting a business.
Mike.
Yeah, instinct. Make sure you do what you think you want to do.
Roland.
Make sure that there are customers out there for the goods and services you're trying to provide.
And David.
Value, and find the thing that if you get a call at 3 o'clock in the morning, you're still smiling.
And that's our show for today. I want to thank all of my guests. We are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at PGC Diversity, and our YouTube channel is The Pulse TV. 2019 is around the corner, so don't forget to join our small business club to spotlight your business on the show. Just send an email with the link to your company website to sddd@co.pg.md.us. Also, if you would like to see your business on this show, take a selfie. That's a picture of you and your business taken by you. Send it to us on Twitter @PGC Diversity, and no professional shots, please. Be sure to use the hashtag #SelfieOnThePulse or SOTP. I am Denise Roberts, and remember, in Prince George's County, your success is our success.